Sky is no longer the limit. Toyota has been cooking something in their lab which could leave all the car makers behind. Remember those awesome flying cars from Blade Runner, The Fifth Element, or Back to the Future? Have you ever daydreamed about soaring above the gridlock streets, feeling the wind in your hair while cruising through the skies? Or perhaps you're just tired of the usual boring driving experience and want to take things to a whole new level. Well, my friends, buckle up because Toyota has got some big plans ahead. Introducing Toyota's new flying car, Toyota is now heavily investing in urban air mobility, which, according to Morgan Stanley, would be a 1.5 trillion, yes, that's trillion with a capital T industry by the next 2 decades. The Japanese car maker has partnered with 2 multi-million-dollar startups and has invested more than $300 million into this new project. If Toyota pulls this off, the car industry will never be the same again. In this video, we'll be uncovering details about their new flying car and tell you all about Toyota's future plans, so stick till the end and hit that like button. Toyota and Joby, now let's dive in. Joby Aviation, a California-based company that has been working on an air taxi shuttle, caught the eyes of the giant car maker first in 2020. Since then, both the companies have been working together closely. After years of hard work, they are finally nearing the mass production stage of passenger eVTOLs. Back in 2018, this startup announced $100 million in funding backed by some big names like Intel, JetBlue, and Toyota. Later, in 2020, Toyota put in an additional $394 million to fast-track production. This also allowed the Japanese car maker to get a minority stake in the eVTOL company. Under a new long-term agreement, Toyota will supply Joby with key powertrain and actuation components vital to the production of its eVTOLs. Toyota Motor Corporation Connected Company President Kei Yamamoto spoke to the latest agreement with Joby Aviation. We are very pleased to have reached this milestone with our key partner. Our mutual goal is mass production of eVTOL and helping Joby apply the best practices of the Toyota production system in meeting high-quality, reliability, safety, and strict cost standards. We are excited about the potential for further collaboration as we seek to realize mobility for all with a seamlessly integrated air-to-ground mobility network. The main eVTOL components will be designed by Joby and manufactured by Toyota. Those parts will then be shipped to Joby's powertrain and electronics facility in San Carlos, California, for final assembly before shipping to the aviation company's pilot production line in Marina for eVTOL integration. But before we dive into more details about these upcoming flying cars, let's go back to where it all began. Attempts at flying cars. Over the years, let's start with the early days when the dream of flying cars was just a glimmer in the eyes of ambitious inventors. The first prototypes appeared in the early 20th century, but they were mostly limited by the technology of the time. In the early days, 1917, we saw the Curtiss autoplane. Glenn Curtiss, a pioneer in American aviation, created the first flying car prototype called the Curtiss autoplane. It featured a 3-wing aircraft design with an aluminum body and a 4-bladed propeller mounted behind the passenger compartment. You could say it was the original winging it attempt. The autoplane never progressed beyond the hop stage and the project was abandoned. Then came the Convair car in 1947. This was a hybrid car airplane that could transform from a road vehicle into a flying machine by attaching a wing and a tail section. This bad boy was ready to fly right out of a sci-fi movie. It featured a pusher propeller, and the pilot controlled the aircraft from the driver's seat, making multitasking a whole new ballgame. Although the Convair car completed a successful flight test, the project was abandoned due to high production costs and a lack of market interest. Sky-high dreams down to earth reality. After this, in 1956, we saw the Taylor Aerocar. This had a top speed of 120 miles per hour in the air and 60 miles per hour on the ground, basically making it the mullet of transportation. Despite receiving FAA certification, the Aerocar failed to attract enough buyers to make mass production viable and only 6 units were ever built. Then came 1989, the Sky Commuter. The Sky Commuter was a prototype vertical takeoff and landing aircraft designed by Boeing engineers. It featured 3 ducted fans and a sleek, futuristic design. The lack of popularity of these flying car attempts can generally be attributed to factors such as high production costs, limited market interest, regulatory hurdles, technical challenges, and the need for specialized skills to operate such vehicles. But now companies like Boeing, Airbus, Uber, and Toyota are starting to heavily invest in this domain to accelerate further growth. This was largely made possible due to the promising prototypes of 2 startups, both of which are heavily funded by Toyota. And while Toyota is generally quite hush-hush about this topic, we've gathered all the details for you, so a sub to the channel would be most epic. Let's get into it. Toyota's top secret investment. Toyota's partnership with Joby Aviation has been a significant boost for the flying car industry. Joby Aviation is an American startup that's been working on a revolutionary electric air taxi since its founding in 2009. Toyota has invested a whopping $394 million in Joby, bringing the company's total funding to over $700 million. So what makes Joby Aviation's air taxi so special? The Joby eVTOL aircraft is designed to be a 4-passenger vehicle plus a pilot that can travel up to 150 miles on a single charge. With 6 electric motors, the Joby eVTOL boasts a top speed of 200 miles per hour. The aircraft's unique tilt-rotor design allows for vertical takeoff and landing, making it ideal for urban environments. Additionally, the Joby eVTOL has been engineered for minimal noise, ensuring that it won't be a nuisance to city dwellers below. Joby Aviation's progress has been remarkable, and the company has already conducted more than 1,000 test flights. In December 2020, they announced a partnership with Uber to further develop their air taxi service, and they've struck a deal with the U.S. Air Force to explore military applications. Despite these successes, Joby Aviation has yet to bring their flying cars to the mainstream market. While their technological advancements are remarkable, the reality is that developing and deploying flying cars on a large scale is an incredibly complex task. Experts predict that it could take another 5 to 10 years before we see widespread adoption of this technology, and even then, it may be limited to specific regions or high-income individuals. However, one notable advantage of these flying vehicles is their quiet operation. Joby Aviation claims that their eVTOL aircraft are 100 times quieter than conventional airplanes during takeoff and landing, a factor that could make them more acceptable for urban environments. Unlike helicopters, which produce significant noise pollution, these flying cars are designed to operate with minimal disruption to the cities below. On the other side of the world, Toyota has been making significant moves in the flying car industry. They have invested in SkyDrive, a Japanese startup focused on developing compact and efficient flying vehicles. Founded in 2018, SkyDrive has rapidly gained attention for its futuristic-looking single-seat eVTOL, the SD-03. Unlike Joby's larger aircraft, which is designed for urban air taxis, SkyDrive's SD-03 is a smaller, more personal vehicle that aims to provide individual transportation solutions. The SD-03 features a sleek, compact design measuring just 13 feet long and 6.5 feet wide, making it small enough to fit in a standard parking space. This compact size is a significant advantage, as one of the biggest challenges for urban air mobility is the need for space-efficient landing and takeoff areas. The vehicle is equipped with 8 electric motors powering 4 pairs of rotors, which are strategically placed to ensure maximum stability and control during flight. Unlike conventional helicopters, which require large landing pads, the SD-03 is designed to operate in tighter spaces, making it ideal for short-distance urban transportation. The company has ambitious plans for the future. They aim to launch a commercial air taxi service by 2023, allowing passengers to book short-distance flights within urban areas, much like how ride-sharing services work today. In addition, SkyDrive plans to make flying cars available for personal use by 2028, meaning that within the next decade, individuals could potentially own and operate their own flying vehicles. While this may seem like a sci-fi dream come true, the reality is that there are still many obstacles to overcome before flying cars become a common sight in our skies. While Toyota's investments in Joby Aviation and SkyDrive are undoubtedly a step in the right direction, there's still a long way to go before flying cars become a mainstream mode of transportation. Several key challenges need to be addressed for this technology to truly take off. Governments and aviation authorities around the world will need to establish strict regulations for flying cars. Unlike ground-based vehicles which follow well-established traffic laws, flying cars operate in a three-dimensional airspace that requires new rules, air traffic management systems, and safety protocols. Questions like, who gets the right-of-way in the sky, and how do you prevent mid-air collisions, must be carefully addressed before flying cars can become widespread. Cities would need to build specialized infrastructure to support flying cars. Vertiports, or vertical takeoff and landing pads, would need to be strategically placed throughout urban areas, and charging stations would have to be widely available for electric-powered eVTOLs. Additionally, integrating flying cars with existing public transportation networks would be essential to ensure a smooth transition. The general public may take time to accept the idea of flying cars. While many people are excited about the prospect of futuristic transportation, there are also concerns about safety, privacy, and affordability. Accidents involving flying cars could be far more devastating than typical road accidents, so ensuring public confidence in the technology will be a major challenge. Operating a flying car is not the same as driving a regular car. Pilots would likely need specialized training and licenses, which could make flying cars inaccessible to the average person. While companies are working on fully autonomous flying vehicles, it may take years before AI-powered air taxis are widely accepted and approved by regulators. Initially, flying cars will likely be very expensive, limiting their use to wealthy individuals and corporations. However, as production scales up and technology advances, costs are expected to decrease, making them more affordable for everyday consumers. Despite the challenges, it is clear that companies like Toyota, Joby Aviation, and SkyDrive are making significant strides toward making flying cars a reality. With billions of dollars being poured into urban air mobility research and development, the dream of flying cars is closer than ever before. While it may take another 5 to 10 years before these vehicles become widely available, the progress being made today is laying the foundation for the future of personal air transportation. Do you think flying cars are the future? Would you ever ride in one, or do you think it's too risky? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content on the future of transportation.